Hey, welcome to the Sharing Jesus podcast, where we share stories, awesome ministry moments, and everything in between. Today, joining me on today's episode is our student pastor, Rob Cox, our associate pastor, Sean Collins, and our lead pastor, Michael Reese. And yesterday, school has started for the 2021-22 school year.
Yeah, school is back. And there's one thing, guys, I don't know. My parents might have been behind on times. I don't know. But did y'all do all the back-to-school pictures when y'all was kids?
Oh, yeah. Did y'all notice all those?
Oh, yeah. Like, they're all over social media.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's popular now, but
I feel like I was, like, left out as a kid.
I don't think
you don't
it
have
was
the
that
Polaroids?
popular when we were growing up.
No, it wasn't at all.
No,
and,
they got the signs now. They, like, basically give your whole credit profile.
Yeah, but your dad would have had to, like, gotten under the little curtain and taken your pictures. So.
If I remember correctly, 2017, 2018 is probably when that got really popular.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I agree.
All the social media.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
I mean,
It's
like,
been
hey,
doing
I was just making sure I didn't miss out on something.
I know we're talking about back to school, but I mean, Pastor and I were talking about, engagements and stuff. And I mean, we didn't have the whole, sitting around the ring taking the pictures. I mean,
The engagement pictures.
yeah,
And,
exactly.
Yeah.
There were no reveal parties.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
And somebody said it's social media driven, that you have engagement pictures / now engagement get-togethers or parties or whatever the right word is. That's
pretty
the
cool.
thing.
Yeah. Anyways.
Actually, divorce parties are a thing too,
Yeah, I
which
saw
is
that
really
too.
sad.
You're
Yes,
really
it is.
true.
Oh yeah,
True.
yeah.
Oh
But
my!
we are back to school. We
Yeah.
are back.
Segue. Thank you, Sean. You did good, and Rob, getting us back on track.
So where did everybody go to school for most of their school career?
Lake Hamilton, go Wolves, maroon and gold.
Like Hamilton, I'd be a split, I guess, only because I graduated at a different school and I spent some time there in elementary at that school as well.
You're two different towns, right?
Yes, Camden Fairview High School. I was a Cardinal, and then Bearden High School, 15 minutes up the road. I spent some time there, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade in Bearden, as well as 11th and 12th. I spent there in Bearden.
I'm two different towns also. Henderson, Texas. Matter of fact, kindergarten was available whenever I was coming through, but it wasn't required. I found out because Miss Karen, running KK's Academy, or what the official name is that we did a study on state law in Arkansas that kindergarten's not required in Arkansas either. And so, but most people do it, and most people do even pre-K4, which gets you ready for that. But Henderson, Texas, and Huntington, Texas. Henderson is the Lions, and the Red Devils are for Huntington.
All right.
I moved to Huntington when I was in 3rd grade. Remember all my teachers, every subject, everything. But speaking of back to school, starting school, I do have a memory.
I went to Hamburg, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah,
The guy that asked the question.
Wait, I'll get to you in just a second. But I think about back to school. I think about all these kids, and I see these girls, and they're wearing these jeans, and they're all got all these holes and splits, and that, it's fashionable now.
Yeah.
But the memory that sticks out to me is I got a brand new pair of jeans at the beginning, at least 2 pair.
Oh, yeah.
Of school.
Yeah.
And that's a memory. All right, where'd you go to school, Caleb? Before we leave that,
Hamburg, what? Hamburgers
Arkansas.
or Hamburg, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lions.
but that's not all his, since obviously he's
They need
at a
to change it.
disadvantage with his dad in the podcast.
Yeah.
He's went to more than just Hamburg school.
Well, he homeschooled,
Oh
Well-
yeah. Well, like in the
but
transition.
but he said the majority. He
Yeah.
went to the Hamburg, Arkansas.
in our
He's a Hamburg Lion.
in our transition to
Where
Benton,
did you
I
go
was
to school
homeschooling.
before Hamburg?
no, I meant like.
Oh,
So what was his mascot? That's what I meant.
Lions.
Lions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roar.
I know Hamburg is in Arkansas. I just
Yeah. Southeast.
The home of Scottie Pippen's
Yes.
schools.
Yes.
Also Haley Cox.
And
Yep.
Haley Cox.
That's right.
Where'd you go to school?
The
to
latter
begin
is a
your
lot more important.
School career.
Absolutely.
He doesn't remember.
Grace
Christian
Academy.
School
Yeah.
in Alexandria, Louisiana. When we moved to Hamburg, he was in the 1st grade. So that
Yeah,
is
remember all that.
definitely a dominant.
Rob came in with an awesome topic, kind of to start our episode today.
Oh, man. This
Heard it on the radio.
Heard it on the radio this morning. I forget what station it was. But if you could go back and apologize to one of your teachers for something that you did, what did you do and who is the teacher? Do you remember? What would you apologize for? Everybody's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and of course I did a lot of stupid juvenile things. All of us do from time to time. I remember fifth grade, my friend, I think his name is Tommy Attaway, drew a great picture, a big old art picture of a werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured the werewolf needed a male organ attached to him. So anyway, that teacher took that picture up and said, "Michael Reese, what'd you do this? What'd you draw this?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure did." She said, "I'm going to fold it up and put it in your permanent record." So,
Is it still there?
if we go back in the files of fifth grade elementary school, 1978 or whatever,
What school is this?
that would be Huntington.
We need to call them, see if they digitize their record yet.
Yeah.
See if there's a picture of this.
Who drew this? Who drew this? But it's got Tommy Attaway's name on it, not mine.
That's your number one that sticks out?
I need to apologize for that.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
shouldn't have put that male organ in there.
Actually, you had to get in trouble for it, but they probably giggled about it at the end of the day.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
but he made that a male werewolf. I want to make sure everybody knew.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the teacher's probably like, you can't believe what little Mikey drew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Little Mikey.
I'm sure there's some other stuff I need to apologize for.
Caleb, you just heard your dad's?
Yeah.
What you got?
He can't say.
I'm trying to
He's
think.
still taking it to the grave.
One of the only paddlings I got in school was from Coach Wayne.
Okay.
And he wasn't a teacher. I guess he was the principal or assistant principal at the time. And I was fifth grade maybe. And a bunch of guys, they had the cafeteria, and once you got done eating, you just went outside and you could play. And they would blow the whistle when it's time to go inside. And I think they blew the whistle that one day, and we stood on the side of the big brick building where they couldn't see us. When everybody went inside, we just stayed outside and kept playing basketball. And
Nice.
I don't think of anything I did in class or anything I did in school that was ever I should apologize to a teacher for that I can remember of.
Well, if Caleb did anything, he got it honest. I got a paddling every year until the 7th grade. I broke that streak. Then
Wow.
I actually got
Paddling every year.
award at the end of the year as most improved student. So
There you go.
Wow.
What you got, Sean?
Man, I've been racking my brain. I've got nothing.
You got nothing?
I've got nothing.
Man,
I mean,
you're
I
like
was like
honor student.
he is
No, I wasn't an honor student for grades, but I mean, I was, and
under the radar.
I still am. I'm
You got the citizenship award.
no, yeah,
Didn't you? Okay.
no. I mean, I just didn't want to like upset anybody, so I
Okay.
had a book, and I can't really think of anything.
I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to share right now.
I mean, there was one time where I had to go to the assistant principal only because I climbed over the bathroom stalls. That was the only thing that I can remember doing.
Okay.
And that was like nothing.
But was it the male side or the female side?
It was in the male side.
Okay.
I was just climbing, for some reason, I was climbing over the bathroom stalls.
That was a joke back in that day, but nowadays it's not a joke anymore.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird now.
Yeah. Back then, he just thought it was another set of obstacle courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was it. Whoop-de-doo.
Gym equipment.
And the assistant principal just said, don't do that again. I
That's
said,
how
yes,
mine
sir.
was. Like, I don't know anything I should apologize
Yeah.
to a teacher for.
So,
Oh, man.
I thought for a long time I may could find something, but
Rob, what you got?
Man.
I mean, this is like your big thing.
I've got,
Yeah.
well, no, it's not my big thing. I just heard it this morning. I've got like two, one from 3rd grade and one from senior. 3rd grade, wrestling was like big. It was like
Yeah.
big. I think I was talking about this with you, Sean. But if you know the wrestler Mankind or McFoley or whatever, Sean knows the story now. Socko was like his finishing move. Like he'd pull a sock out, he'd like do a death grip on their chin, and he'd do it with a sock and he had like a face drawn on it, right? Well, there was one where McFoley was the special guest referee, so of course he's there and he's gonna intervene in the match, right? And so I'm watching, and sure enough, he pulls out Socko and he's got the referee stripes on him, right? The next morning I wake up super early, I don't know why, and I'm like, I'm taking Socko to school, and it was in Miss Lloyd's class, and she wasn't there that day. We had a sub, so it like worked out. But I apologize, Miss Lloyd, misbehaving in your class. She's a dear family friend, but went to school with it, and a buddy of mine, Nick Russell. If you ever hear this, Sorry, man, I ratted you out. But Nick took Mr. Sacco from me. I got it out there at the playground, and he went around just getting everybody in the mouth, little girls and everything. Like it didn't matter. He got to probably about 20 kids before they caught him, before they could catch up to him.
Putting the death grip
and we
on
both
him.
got a paddling that day, and so I acted like an idiot, I guess. But in senior high, we did a senior prank. I want to apologize. This was Miss Hall. She was our English teacher, and she wasn't just the one directed at it. It was just, we had some sardine cans. We opened them up, and we got them into the vents of the room, so the air vents. So anytime the heat cut on, or the air, it would just circulate that smell. And we had class in there. We actually had to sit through it as well. But she had so many. She probably went through about $200 worth of candles that year.
Oh my!
In her classroom, couldn't figure out what the smell was. And me and about two buddies, I'm not gonna say their names. We were the ones that put it in the vents. And I feel bad about that. Like, why did I do that? Just some stupid senior prank.
We're juveniles.
Yeah.
Yep. And men can still be juveniles. I mean, women will attest to that and amen that. We just think it'll be funny at the time. We don't think consequences.
No.
We don't think about long term. How's it going to affect people?
All right. What about favorite subject and most hated subject?
Ooh. Favorite subject.
Well, of course, me and Rob, I know, that would be lunch.
That's his favorite subject, or
I had
It
an
may
A
be
plus in lunch.
it was like lunch and recess.
Lunch and recess.
Yeah.
That was it.
Both
Favorite
of them together.
subjects.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you have that light bulb moment that comes on. You think, well, I need to actually start trying to learn and apply myself. That happened that 7th grade year. I almost died in the 6th grade, not from anything at school, but I had appendicitis. Lived for 3 days without surgery, which almost killed me. I won't get into all that whole story, but I missed a bunch of school. I don't know. Anyway, went into 7th grade, and I found out my love for history. I've always loved science. Probably my least favorite is math.
Yeah.
So,
That's where I got it from.
That's Dad
Yeah.
hated math. You're
I
no
pass
good
that
at
on.
it.
And I think, we talking about teachers too, and I think part of our most favorite subject can result from just good teachers too.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite subject is kind of the opposite. We both like lunch, but I was math. Math just made sense to me. I understood it. It was a set of rules. You follow those rules, and you get the answer.
See, I knew people like that in class, and I just didn't get it that way.
I like the useful math. Like
Useful.
Well, to me,
2 tires in the front, 2 tires in the back. That's 4 tires.
That's useful.
that's useful. Like to me, something that's always been easy is fractions and percentages. Not
Okay.
everybody likes that stuff.
Yeah.
But that to me has always been useful.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested in how many pieces of pie there are. And they always use the pie illustration.
I say it's one
We're
piece of
going back
pie.
to
Just
lunch.
bring me the whole thing. That's one piece.
That got my attention.
That's
Wait
a
a
whole pie, one hole.
So you
Oh.
love math. What was your least favorite?
Least favorite, I would have to say probably English. I wasn't a big reader, and they always made us do book reports and stuff. And I was always the kid that got on Spartan
Readers
notes
are
and-
leaders, Rob.
Yeah, I know
Readers
it. I
are
read
leaders.
more now than what I did. I used to never read, but math, I just that was it for me. It was like a challenge. Could I get the answer? And how? I remember back in the day, I'm gonna borrow this pen real quick. In 3rd grade, they'd give us those multiplication tables, and it was like a sheet of 100, and we would race to see who could get it done. And here was the best sound. Here's how you knew who won. You would hear this. The pencil hits the table.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like the drop the mic moment. I was always first. Boom, boom. And it just excited me. And math is where it is. It all makes sense.
Which I've seen you work things out in your head pretty quick, and you're really quick at it. The only one I've seen that's a natural at it, and he's lost a lot of his speed, and that's Leon Cornett is a math dude in his head, but that he did that for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so...
Sean, what about you?
I have a love-hate relationship with math because y'all are saying math. Well, there are fractions and stuff that I can do in my head, and algebra I can do. I don't like to do it, but geometry I could not stand. It was the only D I ever got.
A squared
All
plus
gibberish
B
to me.
squared equals C
I
squared.
cannot stand geometry.
What's that called? Pythagorean?
And I'll be the first
Yep,
one to
Pythagorean theorem.
talk about teachers. I never had I made a D. Okay, she just passed me,
Okay.
and it was actually
She felt bad.
It was, shall I say, the prettiest teacher that I ever had. All the teachers I ever had were just nice, polite, kind.
Unfortunately, that's what happened with Caleb. He got a rough teacher in ninth grade, and he got passed through Algebra 1, even though none of them learned anything.
Oh, that's pre-algebra.
Or was it pre-algebra? And he went on in, and poor thing, once he got behind.
I remember that. I was
it's
trying
tough.
to keep kids eligible. I was a coach down there. I was like, "What's
Yeah.
going on in high school? All
all-
these kids are failing.
Every
What's
kid
happening?"
got passed through that year. It
Yeah,
was terrible.
yeah, they ended up passing y'all.
At the end.
And I'll
Yeah.
tell
Wow.
you, from my point of view, I was the one that needed it. Some kids, it was okay. They could not have it and get by and go to the Algebra 1, which, when you start Algebra 1, Algebra 2, it gets real real tough. But since I didn't have any foundations in algebra, it was tough for me. Really tough.
Yeah.
But math was my least favorite.
What was your favorite?
Oh, hands down, Mr. Black is a history teacher.
History.
And what amazed me is he had this big, huge world map he'd pull down over the whole whiteboard.
Oh, yeah.
And teach history without any notes, anything, and just use the map and tell you what happened here. And he was a pastor too, not a full-time
remember
pastor,
him.
but he would preach
Yeah.
at different churches. And he didn't care. Every now and then he'd pull a little Bible into.
One of my best friends
a lot of history there.
Yeah,
is a
it's
bivocational pastor and also a history teacher. His name is Adrian Neal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I loved history. That was
History
really
and
cool.
science are both that interest me. They're cool.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, you got the first half in about your struggle with math. What did you say your favorite was?
I didn't.
He didn't like
So you got to
anything.
pick. You got to pick.
Yeah.
Sean's a big reader. It's probably English.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's English. I love the Shirley method, like sentence diagramming. I love to diagram.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do. Sorry, guys.
Hey,
We're gonna get on my dry erase board. We're gonna diagram some sentences.
this particular room doesn't have that.
Yeah.
But in that, did you read a lot whenever you was in school? Whenever you were in school?
Yeah, I always had a book with me.
Always.
Yeah.
I developed
I
a
had a
love for
Buffalo
reading.
Bills 91, 92, 93, and a book. Hat. I had a hat, Buffalo Bills hat, and I would always carry a book with me.
There you
Well,
go.
I
let's
was
take
sad.
let's take a quick break, and right when we come back, we'll talk about our favorite memory, maybe our favorite year in school, and then we'll wrap up the episode today. We will be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Sharing Jesus podcast. We are talking about back to school. Back to school started yesterday. Today's day 2 of school. And Rob, you've been helping out with a little football too, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been over at Benton. I've been volunteering again with one of our church members and deacons, Coach Corey Rickett. He's over there as 7th grade coach, and there's only 2 of them. So I was like, hey, y'all got like 70 kids, and y'all need some help. So
Yeah.
using my coaching background to meet more people and try to get involved, maybe make a gospel impact there
That's a
on
huge
a
tool.
football team.
Amen.
What are you coaching?
Right now, I am coaching
Special teams?
No, we don't do special teams in 7th grade. It takes too much time to coach, so we just do offense and defense, and the refs do all the special teams, punting, and all that. And they just move the ball.
Oh, okay.
But I do the receivers as well as the defensive backs, secondary.
Cool.
Yep, both sides of the ball on that one.
And-
And I think about Miss Karen Cloud, who's our financial administrator here, and she was talking about the everybody's taking their kid to school. Therefore, and getting these pictures and
Traffic's
everything.
bad.
Traffic is horrible. I don't
yeah.
know what you experienced.
Took me 40 minutes to get from my house to the practice field this morning.
Are they
Wow.
practicing on that new field by the
Oh yeah,
cafeteria?
it's nice.
So-
Benton is blessed.
So,
If anybody's listening
on a
and you've invested
Saturday-
in Benton, thank you. You are doing great for your community.
Amen. On a Saturday, how long would that take you?
Saturday, it take about 15 minutes.
Okay,
Maybe
wow.
13
So-
minutes, 15. Took me 40 this morning.
Which
More than double.
we talked about the compound that Benton's sitting on, and everything's built very nicely, nice parking lots, but everything is just right there together. Middle school, junior high, high school.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes it a central hub. That's where you don't
Yeah.
have to go across town. Once you get in 7th grade or No, 5th grade. The K through 4 is scattered throughout town.
Well, when I moved to Benton, that's what was weird to me as far as like all the elementary schools that are like all separate and then you come together. At Lake Hamilton, it was just like, you just started off. I mean, granted, I was there in 3rd grade, but it was like 3rd grade. It was all on one campus.
Yeah.
All the way to
And of course,
12.
it's
A lot of smaller
huge now.
schools.
Don't even recognize it.
Yeah, a lot of smaller schools are that way. It's all elementary school; they're all together. But when you got a big town like this, the elementary schools are always
Dude,
like neighbor.
Hot Springs is
Yeah.
bigger than Benton. It always has been.
But they got multiple schools, so they're pulling from a central area.
Mm-hmm.
And so Benton, you got all these different areas that they're pulling from. So they have a elementary school like Springdale. When I did my student teaching, 19 elementary schools. 19.
Goodness.
I was just at one of them doing student teaching.
Wow, and that speaking of that, was that trivia. Allie went to 10th grade at Benton, and it was overwhelming her. We just moved here, and I hate that she had her struggles there. But when so we did the school choice. Next year went to Harmony Grove, and kind of a trivia that you're just talking about school districts. Harmony Grove, unless something's changed, is the smallest area school district in the entire state.
Sure is.
And Hamburg is one of the largest in the state.
It's number 2. Does anybody know where number 1 is?
Probably.
It's pretty close to here.
Oh, Bryant.
Sheridan,
really?
Yeah.
Sheridan has-
Oh, that makes sense, man. All
Yeah.
the way from East End.
Yep.
All the way down. Just
All the way to Whitehall.
wow.
Yep.
all
all
probably
the way
close
down
to Little Rock.
Fordyce. All the way
Bryant's got
close.
a big one, but I did not realize that about Sheridan.
Yep.
Bryant,
As far as
pours in
land
a lot
area.
of- Bryant, there's a lot of drive-in kids.
Yeah.
That drive into
With our school
there.
district, Sheridan is number 1, unless things have changed. I think Marion has a pretty big one as well. But Hamburg is number 2, and I think Marion is up
It's
there
right
as
there.
well.
It's in probably the top 5.
Yeah,
A
probably.
lot of those eastern school districts,
Yep.
they're in the Delta. They're real spread out. A lot of them have consolidated. And but back to school, traffic is atrocious. Before we move on to some of the topics you have, Caleb, I want to hit this. We need to, obviously, we have as a staff and as a church, we had special prayer for our teachers and students and everybody involved. I was thinking about this is the 2nd year in Arkansas and most of the nation where they've had to wear masks, or they were either A, mandated, or B, like Benton is, encouraged, but it's optional.
Courage, but they decided to buy, their step of precaution was to buy every classroom an air purifier.
Does it hit them in the face when they walk in?
I don't know how that is going to work, and I don't know. But I think the direction you was going, Pastor, our teachers and admin and just everybody involved in school is going through a lot. This is the 3rd school year now it's affected. They just canceled, longest spring break in history happened. And what was that, 2020?
Yep.
2020 spring break was awesome. Not really. And then, of course, affected all of last year. We thought it was getting better at the end. They were going to remove masks, and a lot of school districts did. And now we're like going back to mask, and now it's like a bunch of conspiracies being spread. I don't know what's going on.
Do you
but they got a lot.
Do you think we'll finish, Pastor,
Finish what?
the school year?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
In
now.
some way, some
No,
capacity.
in brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar will be finished.
Oh, man, I don't want to even predict that, Sean.
His name
man,
is
I
Pastor
sure-
Michael, not Prophet Michael.
Ah, very good, Rob. Very good.
I'm not a particular on names or titles. Just call me in time for the supper.
I talked
me
to
in time for the meal.
I talked to a few teachers, and they seemed pretty sure about it. And they have a lot of things in place.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I know they don't want to, just shut it all down again.
Sure.
It's tough.
It's kind of the way I'm doing with our church. The other day I had to call off, but I had enough information, and I appreciate the men. We had a men's meeting last Sunday, and they all said, "Hey, Brother Michael, when you make the call, we've got your back. Just do the best job you can do with the information you have." And I know those admins at schools are going to do the same thing because, like
Yeah.
Sean's saying, they're going to have to make that tough decision.
Yeah.
And
not everybody's going to be happy with it, no matter what decision
no
it is.
matter what.
And so
parents will be screaming, go virtual, no mask, go mask. And so I've been on I've tried to strike the balance. I'm not a pro-mask, anti-mask. I'm not a pro-vaxxer, anti-vaxxer. I support everybody's decision. They're going to make the best decision for their health that they can make.
Yeah.
And I feel for the pastors. I'm doing it too. All the other pastors are doing the same thing.
Well, to get off a little sad note, what was everyone's favorite memory from their school career?
I had and you were mentioning senior year. Boy, I had an
Is college included before we get too far?
Oh yeah.
Can we include college?
Yeah.
All right.
You know, K through college.
All right.
K through college.
Okay.
And of course, mine. I ended up, Chamberlain Elementary School in Henderson, Texas. I had some great. I was involved with some. They had skits or plays, and we did big production. George Washington. I was in there, and I remember. Matter of fact, my friend dug out an old photo. I still love getting up and doing skits and stuff. But favorite teacher in memory would be the debate team, 12th grade, Mr. Nesbitt, our government teacher. And I had a blast my senior year. Of course, there was a computer programming class that I had that year, and it was a lot of fun. I was real good at it. I would skip class, about every other class, go eat with my friend Jeff Hedrick, and we would skip class, go eat, and I'd still passed it and had a great time in it. But man, that senior year was awesome.
Cool.
That was my favorite memory. Senior year was awesome.
I remember. I don't know, Rob, if you were coaching basketball at this time, but
What grade were you in? And I'll tell you if I was.
I think it was 9th grade.
I was your coach.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
I remember that too, and Rob is correct.
So it's the fourth quarter. There's like 3 seconds, maybe 2 seconds left on the clock. And we have the ball. We're taking it out on the other end of the court next to the free throw line, like across from the free throw line. So we have 2 seconds left, the whole court to go. And they toss the ball into me, and I just chunk it, because it's going to 0. And I bank it off the backboard. It goes in. Everybody goes crazy. But we still lost the game.
Thanks
It was
a lot,
cool.
Caleb. Story was going good for the coach there for a while. He had his inbound play drawn up. It was cool, and we made the shot. And we won the game. No, we lost.
No, we were
too
down by
far
like
behind.
8. I don't know why I shot, but
Well, you shot because that's the thing you do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
shoot the ball. Yeah. I was probably yelling, shoot.
yeah.
So athletic memory.
No, my favorite memory. I was a guy in high school, so I enjoyed the bus rides to games, and I enjoyed lunchtime and different things. So
Yeah.
Thinking with their stomach.
Yeah. Well, mine's probably going to be around sports. Couple pretty cool memories. I think this is my 9th grade year. 9th grade year, football, we were really good. I'm talking about really good. There was 5 of us on that team that played for the Razorbacks. So if it tells you anything, and I think 12 on that 9th grade team played Division I football. So I think we were down in Hope, and we were killing them. We killed everybody. It wasn't even close. And our starting running back, DeAnthony Curtis, who eventually played for the Hogs, running back for them, receiver. He's now a coach down at El Dorado. Phenomenal guy, phenomenal character guy. He was going to go back in, but he told my dad, the head coach, hey, let's let Jonathan run the ball. Let's let Jonathan score. And to see that as a buddy, to see that as a friend, the star guy, to say, hey, let's let so-and-so run the ball, that was a pretty cool moment as far as seeing your teammate do that. What an example of leadership.
That is cool.
So that was a pretty cool, memorable moment there. I got several from my dad that are like personal stories, relationships, players, and things that I saw. But my senior year, high school, coolest moment, we were undefeated going into week 10, as well as Junction City was undefeated. This was Bearden versus Junction City. Usually week 10, it's like deer season, so they moved the game, like half the games in the state are moved to Thursday night, and so Friday night you can go to deer camp. I guess that's the way they do it. I don't know. And anyway, we moved it to Friday night, and there's a town of like 1,000 in Bearden, okay? It's like 1,100. That night there was over 6,000 people at our game because we moved it to a Friday night, and we won the game, and it was people everywhere, and it was pretty cool. But that moment in time was better than any Razorback moment that I had, was that moment in high school.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. But
And
my
that was
college,
which year was
that
your
was my senior year, Bearden
Yeah.
football season 2007.
Wow.
And then in college, I was talking about this yesterday. Coolest moment in Razorback football that nobody knows about. I wish we would have had like videos on this. We were coming back from a team meal from the sushi place. They fed us, took the whole team, told us to order what we wanted to. Hibachi, I think it was like Kobe or something like that. I don't know, but it's in Fayetteville. Really nice one. And they start sending our players back. Well, the coaches and their families were there eating too. Coaches, families, support staff, training staff, everybody. I don't know how much we spent that night or whoever spent. But thanks, Coach P, for the meal, I guess. Coach Petrino. But we got on a bus, and on one of the buses, we had Matt Harris, who is the Hall of Fame Cowboy Cliff Harris's son. He's one of our starting safeties, and Lucas Miller, one of the starting receivers, and their buddies. And they are reenacting a conversation, a what-if conversation between Bobby Petrino and Houston Nutt. And for 30 minutes, we're on the bus with them, a comedy skit. And it was the best, probably memory ever, Razorback memory of mine. I'm not going to tell you the conversation. I'll probably share some stories in private with you. But that was a pretty cool moment to hear the arguments between Bobby Petrino and Houston Nutt. It was awesome.
That is too cool.
Yeah.
Too cool. What you got, Sean? Memory that sticks out.
Yeah, memory that sticks out. Well, I mean, we'll go two. First is school clothes shopping. That was always fun
Oh, yeah.
because it was real big with the pumps, the Reebok pumps. I actually had one of the I actually had a pair with
Man,
the
that's been a long
basketball that you
time.
would pump
Wow.
up. I had a pair of the Shacks with the O2 cartridges that you would, hit the sides.
Oh yeah.
So that was really cool. Of course, D Brown wore the original black pumps, and then it went to the O2 gun or the CO2 cartridge. That was cool. And as far as school, I'm still in school. Still working on my MDiv. So favorite part of school is when we have a break and finals are over.
Yeah. Get the rest.
Yeah, get to rest a little
That's
bit.
good.
Yeah.
Get a break.
Well, to wrap up today's episode, it's a question for everybody. If you were to look back on a school year, just in general, how would you describe a successful year?
Yeah, somebody current without COVID.
Yeah, that would be very.
True, but let's just say you're looking at your 10th or 12th grade self.
Yeah, look.
What was a successful school year to you?
Well, successful school, and I finally got serious about academics in high school, and I was, thank the Lord, had a decent average and everything. So I'd say just I really enjoyed that junior and senior year. I made basically all A's. I had a B in there somewhere here and there, and I started both and basketball was my sport. I did track thing. A little bit, ran the distance there, but just making that starting team, accomplishing the goals. Of course, I had the girlfriends, and I was blessed there. So very well.
Girlfriends?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
At the same time?
No, not at the
Okay.
same time. And there was, one of them, of course, that stands out. I graduated, and Vicky Mott, and it was one of my very first girlfriends. Junior year, and when I broke up with her, just because I wanted to concentrate on basketball. Of course, she was not happy.
I don't know if she's going to tell the same story. She probably broke up with
Exactly,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Okay.
but anyway, just making the team, making the grades. I had a blast my couple years in high school.
Yeah.
I think for me, one fun thing we always did in high school, and shout out to Trey Emery, who was our youth pastor when I was in high school. And he would always come to school lunches. Of course, if you know anything about Hamburg, it's that small town environment, just one school. And you go to lunch and visit with all your students. And one fun thing we did all the time was we'd invite kids to church. And so I look forward to inviting kids to Wednesday night church, and so did a lot of our other students. And it was just cool to see the impact that we had, but obviously successful years, just passing class and playing ball, and that's all I cared about.
Passing class, playing ball. Y'all are looking at me. It must be my turn. I look back at it differently now because I've been through
That's a good point.
the education system. I've certified teacher, as well as now I got my master's in education, certified principal here that I'll probably never use. But looking back and what would you call a successful school year? I'll say as an administrator mindset, looking when everybody's on the same page. And what I mean by that is everybody supports everybody. So when it's football season, we're pro football and everything's going on. The band's doing great and cheerleaders and the teachers are excited. Learning is happening. Transition, it seems like the sports is the thermostat of the school. If you got a really successful sports team, the school kind of rallies behind that, and it really impacts the in-classroom learning experience, right? Because we're all excited. We got something to talk about. Good things are happening. So
there's good pep rallies, good announcements.
And so everybody's on the same page, pushing forward. But it really, and I shared this with the seventh graders yesterday, when it happens every year because it's always football season, first of the year. When a football team can go into a school and be the example setters, like they can go be the thermostat of the school. They are on good behavior. They have good attitudes. They're acting good in class. Everybody else seems to just conform to that. So they're the thermostat of the school, whether they like it or not. And then whether it be go really bad, it can go bad quick, or it can be really good.
How big an impact do the coaches have on the way this football team, we'll just pick on that, how they behave in school?
I'll say they can have the biggest impact possible. There's some coaches that don't care. I'll say that because I come from the coaching community, just because they feel like that the teachers are against them, and that goes back to what I just said. Everybody's on the same page. So sometimes you're going to naturally have teachers that they see an athlete, there's a big bullseye on the back of that athlete, and as soon as they do something wrong, we're going to tell the coach, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And it just creates some tension there. But the coach can have the biggest impact for a school. A singular one coach can have a huge impact.
Positive or negative.
Positive or negative. Most of the time positive.
Yeah.
But, Billy Graham said it. A coach can impact more people in 1 year than an average person does in a lifetime. And that is very true. The relationships you get to build, because the thing about school is in classroom, you don't always have kids that want to be there. On a sports field, they all want to be there. So it's like a common goal. You're working together to get somewhere, and you can experience success that way. But when it's happening for the whole school, everybody's trying to get to a certain place. Education's trying to get here. Classroom learning's trying to get here. And I'll say this, a big shout out to two of my teachers. Miss Goss, who set the foundation for me in math. Really, Coach McLean as well in 7th grade, but Miss Goss in 8th grade really stepped it up. We were like in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, and we really set the tone there. But Coach Horskamp, which I didn't realize it until after I got out of college, I realized our defensive coordinator in high school, he's now a head coach at Harmony Grove in Camden. He was the best teacher in the school. He had calculus and trigonometry and chemistry. He taught all those, and I was like, man, this guy, he's just a teacher. That was a lot on his plate to also be defensive coordinator and eventually head coach. And but he's the best teacher in school, and to know what I learned from him, not only on the football field, but to learn, like, so much learning happened from him in the classroom that really helped me in my life. And so all that non-useful math, if you ever get into carpentry, if you ever start building stuff, you're going to figure out those angles and figuring out those degrees and all that, and that stuff mattered.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because you will have a wobbly table real quick if those angles aren't right. So I use that math all the time. But, successful school year when everybody's on the same page, rowing the boat in the same direction.
Yeah. That's true. What you got, Sean? Successful school year.
Yeah, obviously what we haven't really heard. Caleb did mention passing classes, but he didn't mention grades. And so, grades may not be, the sign of a successful year. I just remember, and I guess what sticks out to me is, and I'm not saying that I've always, subscribed to this because it's sanctification, but I just remember when I came to faith in Christ that I was, 16, 17. So it was a vital time in my life. And I remember going to school, and having my Bible in my locker, and I would go and read scripture and just tried to plant seeds. And I don't know what impact I made. I was kind of a bonehead pre-Christ. But just to know that, I mean, that was a successful few years. And then, of course, moving up to Benton, not a lot of people know this, but I graduated from Benton, and that was my only year, was my senior year.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, I met somebody that was a peer of mine, that was a classmate of mine, that we graduated together, and he said, "Hey, I didn't realize you graduated from Benton. When did you graduate?" And I said, "Oh, 99. He said, "Yeah, we graduated together, but I don't really remember you." And I was like, "Well, it was my only year there. I didn't care to meet people, And he
I was
like,
just here to finish.
Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, but I was just here to finish." And so, and wasn't long after, and here we are. But successful to me is just after Christ, after faith in Christ was just to plant seeds and to be respectful and just do what I needed to do. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, school started back. We're definitely been praying for our teachers, praying for our students, praying for, the superintendents, the people who sometimes have to make big decisions. We're definitely praying for everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. We pray that we've encouraged you in a way. We pray that we all continue on the mission of following Jesus, loving others, and reaching the lost.